Peer tutoring. My brother, Neil Baxter, who lives in Atlanta, Georgia, retired several years ago with 50 years' experience in education. He started his career in a one-room school in Butler County, Kentucky, became attendance officer there for a few years, received his master's degree from Peabody College in Nashville, and went to Atlanta to teach. He taught English there for several years and then became a high school principal. After retiring from the Atlanta system, he was an English teacher and later counselor in a Decatur, Georgia middle school. I recently found out that he had several years of experience before that. We were talking of a distant cousin who was my mother's teacher as well as his. He said, "He was the laziest teacher I ever had. He would teach my class and then let me teach all the rest of the classes." I said, "Neil, that's called peer tutoring now, and it's all the rage. We even have a course on it in our school where more accomplished students tutor the less accomplished. You probably taught them more than he could." I think that was common practice in the one-room school where there was no supervision to amount to anything, and a teacher was king of his own domain. In the days when the students went from 8th grade to teaching, the lazy teacher would pick a bright student and let him teach. I never got to teach my peers as I went to a graded school all my days. But when I was teaching in a one-room school, I did let a 5th grade student let a 2nd grade student who was reading like a streak read to her for about an hour a day. I would let the child read to me during her class period, and she got through several more books that way. It also didn't hurt the 5th grader to review all those words. My daughter, who teaches math in the middle school in Louisville, has just completed a unit in which her 7th grade math students taught their class in teams of 3. She said most of them enjoyed the experience, but were frustrated that they couldn't put their points across because their fellow students weren't listening. She said the students did not make as good a grade on the test as they usually do, except for the teachers. But she felt the experiment, though harder work for the teacher, was successful because it gave each student an idea of the teacher's perspective. I have often found that after the week of formal training in the use of the library that I give every English class in my school, sometimes a student will be having difficulty with how the card catalog works. I can usually pick a student who is nearby and say, "John, show Henry," and Henry will go happily on his way, understanding forever the dread catalog. I've often wondered how the student can make instructions so simple naturally. When I work so hard to make it simple and only succeed in confusing the students. I have no idea how many years my brother taught for the grade school teacher, but I'm sure the students learned. Probably the one who learned the most was the young grade school student who was doing pre-teaching before he started his 50-year career in education.